Welcome back to Chronicles on the Focus, the podcast where we dive deep into the stories behind the headlines. Today, we're tackling a festival that's a tomato-throwing, chaotic, and absolutely legendary good time, La Tomatina.
You're talking about that one festival where people throw tomatoes at each other, right? I've seen those crazy videos. It looks like absolute mayhem.
You got it. La Tomatina is held annually in Buñol, Spain. Think of it as the world's biggest food fight. It all started back in 1945 when some kids decided to take out their anger on a vegetable stall during a parade. It's a pretty wild origin story, huh?
That's hilarious. It seems like a lot of festivals have a pretty crazy origin story. It was actually banned by Franco for a while because it wasn't considered religious enough. That's almost as wild as the fight itself.
That's right, but the people of Buñol weren't having it. They held a protest, even a funeral with a tomato in a coffin, just to get it back. That's a lot of commitment to a food fight.
That's pretty hardcore. What's the whole process like? I mean, how many tomatoes are we talking about?
We're talking about over 145,000 kilograms of tomatoes. The city council has specific rules to keep things safe and prevent injuries. No clothes tearing, only tomatoes, and you have to squash them before throwing. There's even a palo jabon, which is this greased pole with a ham at the top. Participants have to climb it to get the ham, and it's a super chaotic event. You know, kind of like the food fight itself.
Oh my god, that sounds crazy. I would love to see the palo jabon, but I bet it's really hard to get tickets. It's only 20,000 people now and it's pretty popular, right?
You're right. It's definitely a hot ticket, and people travel from all over the world to experience it. The city even has a parade and live music before the main event. It's a whole festival experience.
That's amazing. I'd love to go and experience the whole thing, but honestly, I wouldn't want to miss the palo jabon. It's just too good to pass up.
We can't blame you. It's a great time to be had. La Tomatina has inspired similar events all over the world, like the Colorado-Texas Tomato War, and even tomato fights in China and India. It's definitely a global phenomenon.
That's fascinating. You wouldn't think a tomato fight would be so internationally popular, but I guess it just goes to show that people love a good, messy time.
Exactly, and that's what La Tomatina is all about. It's a celebration of food, fun, and a little bit of chaos. And what better way to celebrate than with a giant, juicy tomato fight? If you're ever looking for an adventure, you know where to find it.
I'm going to have to add La Tomatina to my travel bucket list. It sounds like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Thanks for telling us all about it, Bob. This was a great one.
Absolutely. We love exploring the stories behind these unique events, and this was definitely a fun one to discuss. Join us next time for another episode of Chronicles on the Focus.